Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of the Beginner's Guide to Linux. And today we're gonna dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to be showing you these commands. And if you haven't watched episode 1 and you're not familiar about the basics, I will highly recommend you watch that first. And there should be a playlist popping up with all the episodes I currently made. So, episode 2, I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Without further ado, let's dig into the video. Hey, what's up everyone? Let's continue with the Linux Basics series. And today we're gonna take it one step further. So last time was basically moving around the console and creating files and removing and stuff like that. And if you haven't watched it, please consider doing so. I'll have the playlist popping up. And let's continue with episode 2. The first command we're gonna look at is the echo command. So echo. So if we do echo hello world, then it will just spit out a hello world. You don't have to use quotes. If you want to use quotes, you could do that. So it will disregard the quotes. Yeah, if you want to have like a multi-line, that could also be done. So if you want to have multi-line comments, for example, echo hello world, single quote, and then single quote again, enter, and you can see here you have this echo hello world in multi-line. So that's cool and all, but you might be thinking, well, what's the use? For example, if you want to echo something to a file, that could be interesting. So before we look at that, you can also echo variables. For example, home is a variable. Echo home. There you see. Do echo path, for example. So you can evaluate directly the variables you have in your system. So that's pretty cool, right? So let's say x equals 10, echo x, and then you need to add a dollar, echo, there you go. Alright, so that's one thing you can do. And let's look at documents. I think I have echo, I have some stuff in there. So, yeah, let's look at that. Let's open it in Vim, echo. So I showed you this, the text, the variable, and also this one is very handy. Let's open up a new tab. And remove the My Documents. So this, for example, and this also with cat, and I'll get to cat later. Just know you can echo here, echo there. And you will echo out to a file here called print.sh, and this is basically creating a script. So as you can see here, print, let's open up the Vim. This is a script. So I will get to, yeah, this is escaping, this is evaluating it. So I'll get to scripts later series, but yeah, this is basically how you can echo variables and stuff like that. Alright, next one is the cat command. So man cat, and cat concatenate files and print the standard output. And what I basically use cat for most of the time. Let's say that the file you just had, right? The echo.text or print.sh. You can cat it out and it will show it on the screen. So you can just display the contents of the file, but you can concatenate multiple files. So here that cat star, and I grab both of the files here. right? Oh, one other thing I just saw of echo. If you, for example, list the downloads folder. Let's do it -L, downloads. There's a couple of files in there. And what if you, for example, want to see all the RPM files? So if you echo on downloads, and this is a wildcard, and you echo all the RPMs, then you'll see all the RPMs are here, all the files are here, and space separated. So it could be handy for, yeah, some kind of utility. All right. So cat is basically concatenate. Let's say you have some file in your system. Let's say we have groups. So we want to see what groups there are. And you can basically cat, but to do that, first do sudo cat etc groups. And you need to type password. Nothing special in here for me. Oops. Oh, that's so you need to type sudo cat etc group. And then you have the groups. So there's nothing special in here anyway. It's just the standard groups. All right. And yeah, that's the way to concatenate or to print files quickly. And other commands are, for example, more and less. And let's go to that. So man more. So you have like, yeah, this is what I'm using now is also a viewer. So the manual also uses a viewer, but this is actually the less viewer. So more you can, using space, tap through it, and then it's done. And less, man less. It's opposite of more, and it has basically more functionality. It's a more modern way of doing it. You can also do scroll through that. And let's grab a file. Let's get. So wget is also a bonus command. You can paste an URL in there, and you get that file from the internet. All right. So now I have here th Shakespeare, and let's do more th Shakespeare, more on that file. You can see you can scroll down using the space. It's quite a big file. So if you want to exit, just type Q, and less can also be, do it on this one. Basically the same command. So now you see you can actually search, and typing N, you go to the next match of that word that you found. So there's two ways of, actually three. So let's go again. If you cat that th Shakespeare, it will just print out the whole thing to terminal in this case. But you can also combine, like if you have cat and grep. So it's not advised actually to do this, but let's say infected. So you want to grab, I don't know why you want it, but you can grab any infected, the word infected from the file, and you go to out.txt. So you cat the file and then grab and then go out. But you see here, and let's cat out again, and then you see all lines with infected in here. Pretty interesting, right? But you can also, let's remove the out, and let's go back to the command again, And you can also grep infected on the T8 file itself. So will be basically the same result, I think. Yeah, there you go. So you can grep on a pattern on a file and then redirect that to a file. So pretty cool, right? And yeah, let's go further. So let's say you want to locate some text string in a file. And you can also use grep for that. And that's pretty cool. So grep and the pattern you want. Let's do cats the T8 text again. Witchcraft, for example. So let's grab that. So grep witchcraft from this directory and just print it out. So grep is a directory. Then you need to do R recursively. So that's very powerful as well. So here you have the file where it is and the line, and you see it highlighted as well in there. Pretty strong. And let's do the same for infected. Remember that we grepped it, infected. And you see now should be the same result actually, because there are two files now matching. Very, very strong. So grep is very useful utility. And let's say you also want to locate files or locate, you're not sure about where it is and you want to do it very quickly on the whole system. So locate, as you can see, it's not installed by default. So sudo, I'm working on OpenSUSE, but it should work on any distribution zipper. In my case, install locate. Let's install it. Alright, so it could also be that it's called mlocate on your system. So it depends on the distribution. You need to search for locate. I think that would be the best way to do it. And locate, the first time you need to do the update db. Do it with sudo because you can scan every directory then. And now it has an index of the whole system. So let's locate everything with RPM, for example. There you go. So it scanned my whole system and also some folders of synchronization to be sorted. And it just very quickly scanned the whole system for files. So find files by name. So it's a very, very powerful way of doing it. All right. And also, if you're not sure about that, if it's you can do the in case sensitive one. So let's say element. So now it matches everything with element. And it doesn't even matter what kind of case you use, right? So let's do element. So it matches the same. Alright, so that's a very quick way. So just know if you want to find new files, then you need to do the update db again. And you just be sure it updates every time it creates a new index. So it could take some space. Don't do it every minute or something. Just do it whenever you want to really find some new files once in a while. So to find something, let's find And if you want to find something by name, you can do that. And let's element. And then where you need to find it for downloads, for example. First a path then, I think. Find where you want to find it. And then dash name. Didn't find it. So downloads. I thought I had element in there. Ah, okay, there you go. So it's lowercase. And probably you can do iname for in case sensitive. Man find. So guess iname is okay, and you just need to add the expression there. So I think find is very, very powerful, and this is just touching the surface. So just finding files. But this is like a scan of the current directory. So you don't have an indexed database with this. So find, you can find the file, but there's many other options in find you can use. So it's very much touching the surface with this simple find command. But this is a basic series, so let's go to the next one. So that's linking, so ln. So you make links between files. And to demonstrate this, let's go to the documents again. Yeah, let's say you want to. Let's say you have a directory here, and you have documents in there. So let's ls documents. And for example, you have the directory echo in there, right? So 2 files. And let's say you want to create a link to that subdirectory, and let's call it E. So you will have to do ln -, for symbolic link. And then the link name, so documents echo, and the target is E. And as you now see, you have a link created from E to this directory, and if you ls E, you will see the 2 files. So it's a very powerful way of creating links, symlinks to files. I use it a lot actually, and you can easily remove it without damaging the folder. It's just removing the link. All right, and if you have certain executables, for example Java, you call Java and it responds, right? But you don't know where it is on the file system. And for executables, you could do which. So which Java. And it will say, well, it's in user bin. Which Python. User bin Python. Which Python 3 is also there. Which Python 2? No, there's no Python. So you now also see that what does it scan? So it basically scans the path for executables. All right, so to know where executables are, you can do the which command. Let's go to the next one. And the next one is very interesting, but it's a little bit more technical command. Let's say you want to know what open files there are in the system. You can do the list open files. lsof, list open files. And as you may know, in Linux, every network connection is also an open file. So let's run lsof now and see what happens. So it does some warning and it spits out a whole lot of files that are open here. So it's quite a lot, right? Let's say we want to count the amount of open files. lsof, and a new command is word count -l. So it will count the amount of lines now. wc. Some time, and it will spit out the amount of open files. So there's 80,000 of them in there. So for example, if you want to know, let me close browsers here. I had some browsers open. lsof. Know if you have like a network connection open for a certain program. For example, Firefox. Let's grep it. So there's nothing in there. So no Firefox in there. And what if we, Firefox. And let's run that command again. And here you see Firefox opens lots of files. Lots of network connection files. And you can see what kind of plugins, for example. Adblock. You can see lots of things happening. So because it's a network program, right? And that's opening files. And Chrome as well, and all that good stuff. So you could basically see what files are open, and also a network connection is an open file. So cover 2, so wc and also the lsof. So it does print new line, word, and byte counts for each file. Yeah, so you do the lines, you could also do characters and bytes. Alright, so we're moving along through the commands very nicely. And last two I want to cover are also interesting, and they are tail. Let's go to, go to downloads. And let's see this directory here. No, let's go to documents. So it's the Shakespeare. So let's say you just want to, so it's quite long, and as we now know, we could type the R, the H, we could type the H to see how many readable. So it's 5.3 megabytes. It's very easy. So let's say we want to have like the end of the file, and we can do cat for that. We saw that, but you can also do tail T8. You just see the last part of the file. All right, so we can also specify how many lines. Let's say the last 10,000 lines of the file. All right, and we can also do the last three lines of the file. So it's blank, but let's do 5. So just one. These are 5 lines. All right, and opposing that is head. So we can do head. So this is the beginning of the file. Very easy way to just snip the beginning of the file without doing the whole thing. So let's say we want to word count the T8 amount of lines in there. So you can see there's 124,000 lines in there. Cool, right? So what else can you do with tail? So it's very, very powerful if you want to follow files. And then you need to have -f in there. So you have the var log messages. Let's var log messages. I think you need to have root permissions for that. So there you go. So now I've seen the var log messages. So what if we want to follow that file? So tail -f. So you do tail -f and you now have it open. So if you hit some enter here, for example, if you launch a browser, let's do that. So you now see I did something and it spit out that messages anyway. Let's open up Firefox. So you can see here. There are messages being displayed that you did something with Firefox. Fun little trick. You can also, let's move that to, yeah, it's a new one. So let's say you can actually inject messages by doing logger. Hello there. So as you can see here, I just did it. Hello there. Pretty cool, right? So if you have scripts, you can spit out to var log messages using logger command, and you can follow the file. Let's say you want to follow the file beginning from 500 lines. You can do the tag F as well, and then you will follow it from 500 lines from the end and just following it from now. Alright everyone, that is it for the second episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, so do let me know if you missed anything, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.